What's up, internet friends? I'm Coach Ed, and this is the third installment of RD's Coach's Corner. The purpose of Coach's Corner is to take a deeper look at the RD training system from the coach's perspective, and you'll get to follow the topics that are covered in our weekly coaches meeting and understand the techniques we use to help make our members more badass than they already are. Last week, we showed how we can use the 4 qualities to help make ground-based movements more effective. In today's episode, we're going to show how we used breathing to help Theresa climb up the developmental sequence and get one step closer to her goal of doing kettlebell swings. Welcome back, internet peeps. Quick review from episodes 1 and 2. The developmental sequence utilizes 4 basic positions: ground-based, quadruped, kneeling, and standing. The 4 qualities we use to improve movement are appropriate posture and alignment, breath, grip, and foot connection. Click the link above to check out the 2 previous episodes if you haven't watched them yet. People come to results driven for a variety of different goals. No matter what your goal is, there are certain things you should be able to do in order to be a healthy, strong human being. One of those is the ability to touch your toes. Theresa wants to swing a kettlebell, but she respects the process and knows she needs to earn her toe touch in order to swing in a safe, effective manner. In this week's coaches meeting, we used Theresa as a real-time example to show the coaches how we can apply the 4 qualities to climb up the developmental sequence. Theresa's functional movement screen showed she needed to improve her active straight leg raise and toe touch. In order to make this easier, we are simply going to show the test and retest of her toe touch. When we're trying to improve someone's motor control and climb up the developmental sequence, we have to make sure we address mobility first. We take one of 3 approaches when we are trying to improve mobility. 1, traditional mobility strategies like foam rolling or tension-based mobility work. 2 is positional breathing. And 3 is just to refer out to a qualified professional that can assist with soft tissue work or other mobility strategies. Our deeper assessment showed Theresa needed to improve her hip mobility, specifically at the quad and hip flexors. We started with our go-to, foam rolling. Foam rolling the quad did not improve her toe touch, so we decided to go with option 2, positional breathing. Theresa was unable to get an appropriate breath where the inhale expanded her entire midsection instead of rising the chest and shoulders. This is most likely due to her not being able to get in the proper alignment. By placing Theresa flat on her back with her legs bent and a pad under her head, she was able to get in proper alignment and find the right breath. This improved her toe touch, which told us we were on the right track. The next step is to try and carry the same breath up to the next step in the developmental sequence, quadruped position. Theresa was not quite ready for this position, so we needed a transitional movement to help bridge the gap. Passive leg lowering with a breathing emphasis helped to improve her toe touch further. Next came quadruped breathing on her forearms. Taking joints out of the equation by dropping down in the forearms make it easier to find proper alignment, which we notice consistently affects Theresa's breath. After quadruped, we had Theresa set up an open half kneel, grip a kettlebell, and find the same breath she found in the previous 3 positions. The first 3 moves improved her toe touch, the last didn't, but it did not make it worse. Since we were able to find an appropriate breath on the ground, in quadruped, and in kneeling, we then tried to carry it over to one of her upright strength movements, the split squat. When Theresa set up in her split squat and found the alignment that allowed her to practice the same breath as the previous drills, she felt much more balanced in her split squat than she ever has. While we didn't achieve the goal of touching the toes, we did make significant progress and were able to use breathing in the developmental sequence to improve on Theresa's strength training exercises. Okay, so what the hell does all this mean and how does it help me? For those of you that are newer to fitness or at least not as experienced with our fitness system, I want you to take away 3 main points. 1, if we want to improve a specific quality, you have to test and retest. 2, you do not truly own a position unless you can breathe in it. And 3, there's always something new you can learn about movement. Theresa has been performing split squats for a few years now, but just had a major breakthrough by improving her breath and alignment. Now, for those of you that want to go deeper down the rabbit hole, let's address a few things. 1, if you don't improve the active straight leg raise, improvements in toe touch are less likely to be sustainable. This is why we chose a split hips position in the passive leg lower and the open half kneel breathing drill. If you can gain control over your breath when one hip is in a flex position and the other is neutral or extended, it tends to carry over better to the active straight leg raise. 2, healthy babies are born with adequate mobility, but they have to systematically gain motor control. The first place is breath, then head and neck movement, followed by the limbs. Eventually they roll and make their way onto their stomachs before they transition up to a quadruped position. We chose leg lowering as Theresa's second drill because we needed something further down the progression in order to help her earn the breath in quadruped position. Third is just that breathing always matters, but we only go into this much detail when your movement screen and our deeper analysis point us towards breathing as a solution. If you don't have an underlying mobility or motor control deficit that is preventing you from achieving one of your goals, just train. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, friends, I hope this gave some insight into how we can use breathing and the developmental sequence to help you achieve your goals and improve your fitness. Check back next week as we show you how different grip strategies can be used to make you a more badass human being. Thank you for taking the time to watch this episode of Coach's Corner. Myself and all the coaches at Results Driven appreciate your support. Please take a minute to like, share, comment, subscribe, follow us on all the social media things. So I said social media, but we're keeping it. See you next week, friends. Control. Between further down the progression. First plate. Make their ways. To help make you a bet. Okay, friend. Okay. Listen. But no, I'm not supposed to say disease state. Scroll. But we're only preventing you from achieving